The fifth wealth killer, I think, for me, is one of the most devastating traps of all, and it's the one we've been so deeply indoctrinated in, is seeking permission from outside of ourselves, waiting for permission from someone or something or someone else. For me, this is one of the most devastating traps of all. And it is, when we're a child, we seek permission from our parents, from teachers, from everybody else in society for what we need to do. And we need to, can I go pee? Can I eat this? Can I play? What can I do this now? And so we don't develop this permission muscle. And often in our society, that then we take on systems, religions, dogmas, rituals to tell us what we should or shouldn't do. And so we don't know how to create a relationship of trust with ourselves. And the hardest part of the real wealthy life journey is giving yourself permission to have and live the life that you really want, and to stop seeking validation externally and that permission. A psychotherapist, author, Stephen Cope, writes, at a certain age, it finally dawns on us that, shockingly, no one really cares what we're doing with our life. You might say, oh, that's a bit brutal. But this is a very unsettling discovery for those of us who've sometimes can be caught living somebody else's dream or doing some of the other things, pleasing, appeasing, performing, just to be safe and fit in, and getting another person's approval or validation or permission, really, to be okay. And so we betray ourselves. And we've got to really own that it's our responsibility to take care of us. And what he's really saying is, if you're waiting for someone outside of yourself, some authority to give you their stamp of approval to what you're doing with your life, to what you want to do, and if you're telling yourself that things will only be okay once they've given you this approval, this go-ahead, you're going to be waiting a very long time. You see, if you can't make a big decision or launch an important project or anything else until some other force has endorsed it as the right thing to do, then you're going to be frittering away your precious days waiting for that permission to live your life, permission to do the things that you need to be doing to create the life that you want to be having. And this is this prison. So even when the doorway can be wide open, if we're seeking somebody else to say, is it okay for me to go out to my freedom? That's this devastating trap that we can fall into. And people often make it to adulthood, and many people middle age, and many people their entire life, seeking this approval of others, seeking this permission, waiting for somebody else to tell them it's okay, they can do it. These substitute parent figures, it's like it can be a partner, or heaven forbid, a financial advisor, or maybe a boss. So we make our lives conditional on this outside approval in this way, ultimately because the alternative can feel scary. The alternative means facing that anxiety-inducing truth that this is it. That if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to you. That your life now isn't a dress rehearsal for some later, better, realer time. And of course, in many ways, it's awful to feel as though your whole life is dependent on approval and permission of some external source. But it does come with an unspoken payoff, which is, for as long as you're waiting for somebody else to give you their approval or permission and tell you it's okay for you to do and have what you want and take those actions, you don't quite have to take full responsibility for the circumstances you find yourself in. And one of the subtler ways in which we attempt to hand over responsibility to someone or something else is evident in the way so many of us crave some kind of system or person to look after our financial well-being, aka coming back to that rescuer. Because it's less scary than acknowledging the truth that you're in charge of your own choices and your own outcome. And the issue is the way we attempt to surrender responsibility for living to someone else or something else in the hope that it's going to save us from and make us feel safe and secure. But really, it's hugely liberating when we reclaim our agency, because it means you get to call off the search. You stop seeking for that approval and that permission in places that are not available for you, because nobody else but you can give you permission to live your life, the life that you need to be living. And the fundamental problem with going through life waiting for some outside authority to say it's okay for you to do this or that, and to stop seeking what's the rule, how do I be successful, and trying to work out what the hell it is externally, which is exhausting and gets nowhere, is that we then need to put the responsibility on our own shoulders. And But it really is the only way to live authentically, is by taking this responsibility for the choice we make and really own the consequences that we find ourselves in. You are the boss. You are the chief freedom officer of your life. And that's how it is to be human. There is no letter of resignation. And you're here because I know you want to take that. But just notice where there's still those times. And I have to catch myself too. These are sneaky little wealth killers that pop up in different ways. And when we every day to say, I'm responsible for the choices I make and the consequences I have, and I give myself permission to live the life that I want to be living, and I accept, that it's going to be hard sometimes to claim back my life. Because right now it's time for you to find your voice, your truth, and to choose you, and only you can give yourself permission. You're the one you're waiting for. Remember, you're really worthy. You're worthy beyond measure. And there's nothing you can do or create or experience to be worthy. There is no external validation that you can create to finally prove that worthiness. Instead, you start choosing to make choices out of knowing that you're ready enough. And you make these choices to enable you to express your amazing enoughness in this amazing thing called life. So from this place of your innate worthiness, you now have that full permission. You always have had. So take that and let go of the fear and step into this amazing life that you should and be living. Because only you can give yourself the life that you want. And your life really unfolds in direct proportion to your courage and your capacity to keep expanding you and your ability to have your own back and do what it takes to have the results that you want. You were born with potential. You're born with goodness and trust. You're born with ideas and dreams. You're born with wings. You're not meant to crawl, so stop crawling. Spread those wings, fly, and use them. And give yourself permission to stretch and move into that freedom to fly out of those prisons.